I loved getting the blood in between the toes, you know, right in there. Would always get it. But I can tell you guys, I couldn't tell anyone when I was in pathology. I could see where it was because I could see where it was. And then in quantifying it, I would take those samples back into the lab and see you. Not only on the ward, but I would see you, and what I was seeing was really what I was seeing. But then that wasn't enough for my left brain. I need to quantify it even more. I went into autopsies. Excuse me. Not for long, but I needed to know when I cut the person open that what I saw was what I saw. And that helped me. I didn't understand why, but that helped me to now where I teach medical intuition on cruises. Who's been on a cruise? On cruise, so you've seen speakers and things on cruises? And I teach at universities, I get referrals from doctors and things like that. But it's not always just about sickness. For me, the body is the one thing that you own. You own nothing else. And yet, what do we say about our body? I'm too fat, I'm not thin enough, my hair's not blue enough. Who's done that?
Who hasn't?
All right, yeah, good question. Who hasn't? All right, there we go. And that is just trying to talk. So I always say your body is speaking, always. And when there's dis-ease, it's actually saying it's disharmony. The word harm, do you mind if I harm you? She's looking at me. Come on. Stace, come up. I know Stace, she doesn't mind if I harm her. To harm means to love. But we think it means to hurt, correct? And the body, when it's in disharm, is not in love. She's cute, she's all pricky and things like that. Thank you so much, darling. So the body is out of heart space, out of love. And so it's a great thing. And so when clients come and see me and they say, Jean, I've just run over the dog. That's great. My husband's suffering. Fantastic. I've been diagnosed with cancer. Amazing. And I've got 2 months left. That's great. Let's go. Because what am I actually saying? There's nothing wrong with you. Your body's talking and we just don't know how to interpret it. So now I'm going to go back to nursing. And this is when I had drug trolleys. And so I go and start the ward with my drug trolley. And I was a drug dealer. Panadol? 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 These 3 ladies have said yes. Panadol? Morphine? Sure. Pethidine? But that's masking. Now, I'm not against Western medicine because I still work with doctors and a lot of my girlfriends and friends are nurses, doctors, etc. It's about the marriage of the two. And my dream is and still will always be, let's take all that beautiful metaphysical stuff out there and let's have it in schools and hospitals. Who agrees? Yes, it's there. You just got to know. So what I thought what I'd do is, let's do actual live examples. Would you like that? Yes. And with the live examples, I won't go into very private things because of confidentiality. My nursing is still very strong in me. And if there is something that I need to see you about later that everyone doesn't need to hear, I will let you know. Is that okay? Yes. On a professional level, I never tell people that they have cancer, even if they do have it. Why wouldn't I do that? Explain?
Well, like pointing the ball, a shaman telling you you're going to die.
Yes.
So
can be, can be. It's not my right to say you've got cancer. Because when I walk down the beach with my dog, people are riddled with cancer and will never die with the cancer. They'll die with the coconut falling on their head. We've got these diseases in us and we don't even know. But things will happen. And yes, the power of the mind are amazing. Just totally amazing. Amazing, amazing. So, shall we begin? Awesome. Medical meaning whole and complete. So the idea of Western medicine was to say to people, you are whole. You are completely amazing. And just before I go on, I used to work in the repatriation hospital in Brisbane before they closed it down, and I used to nurse the vets there. And World War I, then it went to 2 in Vietnam, and they might come back with an amputation, but they've still got phantom pain. So we would have to recommend them to a psych unit. There's still a story there. when your body part has been removed or had surgery on it, the body doesn't know if it's real or not real. It's still there. You've had a cholecystectomy or the gallbladder removed, it's still there. Sometimes people will say, gee, my thyroid's been moved. The body doesn't know. It's still behaving that way. So I'm going to actually get Stacey. Stacey's done my courses. That's why I'm picking on her. Stacey's going to choose someone. As she chooses someone, you're going to choose someone. Is everyone okay seeing red and green? No colourblind peoples? Everyone's okay? Yep. Stacey's going to choose someone, but I'm going to start writing up what's coming up already. So Stacey, go for it. Make sure it's the right one though. Okay. Yeah, you can just stay in your seat. I won't be a second. I'm just tuning into your body of what's going on. Oh, big heart, big heart. Okay. Big heart. Okay, that's going into. Yeah. So excuse my back for a moment, guys. And I'll just do my disclaimer that you have a right to agree or disagree. Do you agree with my disclaimer? Do you? What? Agree. Do you agree to or disagree to agree that you can agree or disagree? Do I have to? I can't remember.
I'll agree to disagree if we need to.
Boom. I don't know. But what if the information, I can only give information legally. I can't diagnose or any of those sort of things. I give information for that person to then take to somebody else. That's all I'm saying. Is that okay? Yeah. Is that all right? Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay, so we got B1, we got B5, we got B6, we got B12, we've also got like calcium, okay. Excuse me, calcium levels low. And let's go to also gamma. Okay, let's go. I'm guessing at you because you leapt up. So would it be easier for you to see if we bring your chair over here for you? What would you like?
You like to wear my
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. You can take it.
So I'm going to explain. And then, yeah. What's your name, darling? David. So welcome to David. Thank you so much, darling. So welcome to David, please, because he volunteered. Did he volunteer or did you choose? He chose, volunteered chose. So the information when I got, I started off in the large bowel, and I'm going to ask David some questions in a moment. What I got in the large bowel, that there is unrest and not proper absorbing of vitamins. Not so much minerals, but the vitamins. So I needed to look inside and see whether the diverticular, or little hair follicles in there, and there is slight sluggishness on there. With that there's particular B1, B6, B5 and B12 are not being absorbed. So I'm going to ask him particular questions as well. We've also then went to left shoulder. Shoulder indicates over-responsible. I didn't go to shoulder chakra. Every body bit has a chakra on as well, but in this case, burdens of responsibility. So probably over-responsible. Then in the heart space, very big-hearted, and the burdens are with it, it's big heart, trying to be there for everybody else, but feeling like he's struggling to be there for everybody else. I also got throat chakra, not being heard, but not being heard by him, to you guys, by himself and his body. Does that make sense? And I'm going to ask David in a minute. I also got right brain, very, very right brain, very, which is very creative, but not always that way. Was more linear, but way more creative now. I got the GABA levels are low. So it's a natural chemical in our brain. It's a bit like natural marijuana. They are quite low, and that's quite due to the last 6 months being in stress on some level. I also got the frontal lobe, which is intuition. But the intuition here is inside education. And inside education is you really have got amazing wisdom, but you're not sharing it, which goes back to the throat chakra. In the spine, there is some calcium deficiency, and so the vertebrae are a little bit grindy, and in between, it's not as free-flowing as well. But the body does require calcium as well as these beads, and a very big, big-hearted person. So now I'll go over to the client. Could you relate to any of that at all, David? Even though I spoke really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah? Which part in particular?
My left shoulder, I had diffuse brain injury 15 years ago, I was in a coma for 2 months.
Yeah.
And I woke from my coma. The nurses ran in, what do you want for dinner?
Yes.
So I couldn't speak.
Yes.
Chicken or fish, they point to which one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't lift my arm.
Yes.
You see, I was talking, I can, when I start to think more, I want to be active.
Yeah.
It does want to move.
Yes.
As I move out, the tendons are all tied.
Definitely. So what if, with David's permission, at any stage you can say, bugger off, Jean, don't touch me? That's not what most men say, but that's okay. Look, he's jumping up for it. Yeah, touch me. Thank you, Doug.
Do you want to move?
No, you can.
Centre stage?
No? Yeah, go centre stage. There you are, Matilda. After you.
Oh.
All the men jump up for me. So what if, and I'm not doing healing or anything else, what have we got? Money? Does it pay me later? Thanks, darling. Thank you. What if, what David was explaining, connective tissue that he was talking about before, connective tissue is all about connection. And what if just the body is saying, listen, I can't quite connect to my intuition. What if vibe, and I'm not saying it is, medical intuition is not about saying you got this because of this. It's about the person self-realizing. What if in the process of, and I'm just touching the opposite shoulder to what I got, what if the connective tissue in this arm, and all I'm going to do is just touch the arm like that, the connective tissue is about, will connect to that amazing intuition, connect to the emotions. We're so scared of emotions. How many of you are frightened of your emotions? Not me, I'm Greek Arabic. God, have you seen them over there? Like crazy. So what if, David, what I'm going to get you to do, darling, is I want you just to lift your arm as much as you can in front. Now we're going to pop it down again. And what if we just said connect to your intuition like this? So, and I want you to lift your arm again. Okay, do it again. And connect to your intuition, connect to your big heart. So now we're linking up the body parts. Lift it up again as much as you can. How's that feeling?
And just as I do that, it literally cracks.
Did anyone notice anything as he lifted it? What did you notice? Higher. So now he talked about something cracking. Well, I'm just going to say, thanks, body. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to say, thank you so much for speaking, because the body speaks all the time. Now we're going to link in some throat chakra. So I'll just touch there. I'm going to link in frontal lobe. I'm going to link in right brain. I'm going to link in his large bowel. And if you don't know where the body parts are, what's wrong with you? No. If you don't know where the body parts are, when I teach medical intuition, I say to people, you don't need to. Because the body doesn't know, where is the brain? Is it here? Is it here? Is it there? Watch children, they don't know. They just go, yeah, it hurts there. So now we're just going to get you to take a big breath. Okay, now we're going to get you connective tissue to intuition, heart, and the other body parts. Just to lift it up again.
Oh my gosh.
If I wasn't being filmed, I would say F. Yeah. Okay, how was that in your neck part?
I should have
Don't
filmed
know.
that.
What was that one?
I should have
We
filmed
did.
You should have filmed it. It's being filmed down the back.
I know that
I didn't know I was going to do that.
Focus.
Yeah, I love hocus pocus.
That was something.
Now,
Okay.
what about the neural blockage on my left front leg?
Okay. See me later. So, what if that is connected to the neural pathways and everything that David was talking about? What if just by going, yes, I acknowledge you, cancer. So when I get clients that say I've been diagnosed with cancer or blah, 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 I say, thank it. Yep, yeah, it's your bestest friend. But we're so, how many of you have had a headache? I'm going to come back to you in a minute. How many of you have had a headache and you've gone, oh, damn, headache, give me the Panadol. Or I say rose quartz crystal. In a glass of water, there's your natural Panadol. Instant elixir. But how many of you gone, damn pain, damn diabetes? Stop it. Just thank it. It's disharmony. It's with you. But in medicine, we teach that it's bad. There's something wrong with you. But what if, did it take away the accident that David had, did it take away his sense of humour at any stage? Not at all. Probably made it even more cheeky.
Well, I couldn't speak for a few years. But,
Couldn't speak. I bet you were still speaking, even though you couldn't speak, you were speaking. I bet. I bet a bet. So what if we're just acknowledge, and I'm just holding the right shoulder because it's actually balancing the lift out. I'm just acknowledging what's going on. And I'm going to go back to burdens of responsibility. You imagine how much this left shoulder is taking the burdens of responsibility for what we call medically the retardation of what's happened to the body. I'm not saying he's retarded, but what's happened here, that it's okay. We just need to balance that out. Does that make sense? How are you feeling, David?
okay. I don't know, you can see. I don't even work out. I don't know if it's visible from there, but this muscle is actually a lot shorter and like tighter.
Definitely. And what happens is when there is like an accident, whether it be a stroke, we call strokes accident in Western medicine, or a physical accident, the connective tissue tightens up until we stretch it out. But we just saw there was definitely a stretching. And who knows what might happen after this. And it's not about saying to David, I'm going to fix or I'm going to heal the situation. Because what if he is so perfect now? I so love who he is now. I don't know him before. I don't need to know him in the future, but I love who he is. And by the way, I just let you know, my sons think I've got guns better than yours. But what if it's not fixing, but we take each step as it comes? And what if the more that we learn medical intuition, that you can get up and walk and can whatever?
But don't do too much. I was kind of really putting my bets on medical marijuana.
I'll leave the conversation for now. So, I just want to go back to what came up in here. So if David, and I'm for medical marijuana because I think it does amazing stuff. I've seen it, I worked in Hawaii, honestly they allow it though, it does do great stuff.
Well, I swear I just read somewhere that it is going to eat, or not so much eat into the formed scar tissue in the brain and turn it back into working blood vessels.
All right, I'm going to throw it wobbly. What if there's no scar tissue? What if, because the body doesn't know it's scar tissue. What if, and that you digest that, which is in your large bowel, because at this stage, I'm going to go to the large bowel, which your body is not accepting B1. B1 is thiamine, B6, and B5, and B12. And because it's not being absorbed in the large bowel, it's saying that possibly not absorbing that you know anything is possible. because vitamins nourish us. But sometimes it's what we say to ourselves. So what if? So I am going to end it so I can do another demo. But can you please thank David, because I thought it was amazing, amazing.